Some new sports teams are coming to the McLean County's schools in the Unit 5 school district. At the Wednesday night school board meeting, members unanimously approved two new sports: boys volleyball and girls flag football. This is for high schools in 2026. The athletic director at Normal West High, Wes Temples, says multiple students have been asking for over a year, and the first step is getting coaches in charge. He also says they'll see who's interested before hiring more internal or external staff. He says for now, they will be non-competitive sports.
I kind of compare it with our academic programs. You know, schools are always evolving, and when new student interests or new things are happening within the school academically, it's very similar to this. We had a ton of interest at both schools. For these two sports in particular, we ran surveys.
This will be the first boys volleyball team in Central Illinois. This will be the fourth and fifth girls flag football team in Central Illinois. They have some in Peoria.